more players, and it's gonna be worse and worse, right? So, and it might eventually end up coming back. Oof. Okay, I'm not griefing. Okay, nice. So you can start inside someone's base. It's a bit wild, by the way. Alright, so let's see how they handle it. So we do have a 2v1. We have closed versus control and combat. So we're starting closed base. This is where the action will be happening. A very, very nice closed base. Ha. Nice. So we go story going in. For the base tags, they're just going to play it very chill to start with as well. They'll make sure they get all the bases tags, all the upgrades done. All of that good stuff. Yeah, this is a pretty rough location to push, but... because you don't really have any place to disengage, right? So obviously with the war correspondent buff they gave me, I can zoom out a little bit more, boys. Look at this. Oh! We can take a look at the entire mountain now. The entire mountain range. So we can see here, we have the bridge, which you can look into holding with a hole, which I bet people are going to fall down, which hopefully I will see. And you have this entire area around here as well, which will be in closed's favor, as they will be able to hold that. And then you have the north side, northeast side, which you can look into engaging from and disengaging from. So the other areas will be very high. We've got the Hwacha. Who is the Hwacha gamer today? Golden Pig King. Wait, this is the person who bought it, right? I don't know what their actual name is, but they have this Bose Crown Prince, so they're a gamer. So Hwacha's getting shot up already. Making sure the shots are all ready. Oh, is it puzzles? Okay. Puzzles will be the Hwacha today. So it'll be a few minutes, sir, so make sure that all the guilds will have chance to upgrade everything. As we're seeing Conker's main ball grouping together right now. Make sure they all get the Shy Bus. Make sure they get the BSR up. And we'll see how both control and combat look into handling this. It used to be React, true. So everything fully upgraded and ready. I assume they'll be starting either 03 or 05. So the next few minutes. We might have to move a little bit to the north if the because the north side is probably going to be where the guilds are pushing, because the north side has an engage and a disengage angle. So it does allow the guilds to push in and out over and over. We are seeing enemies on Pegasus already moving over. Close trying to get the 1s and 2 picks on the 1s and 2s that are on. I might have to move a little bit closer to the right here, maybe. Can I move without breaking any stun traps or griefing? Okay, this should be okay, I think. Should be okay. So actually in closed move to the north side. One day, dude. One day they will fix the spectate so we can go even further with vision. So I've seen 1s and 2s from control right now that are jumping in, trying to get some damage down onto the structures. Looks like all of control are pushing straight into the base of closed right now. Control absolutely explodes, like they went straight past closed main ball. And control are not waiting around. They're going to make sure they do some damage to these structures instantly. All of control inside closed base right now. Already chomping down 5 to 10% health on those recovs on the first initial push. Close a little close to, a little slow to reacting to it there. I don't think they expected control to just go straight past them into their base, but they were able to do a lot of chip damage on the first push on those buildings. They did, but sadly it's broken and doesn't work right now. They added it yesterday and it was broke before the service went live. So sadly I cannot change the colors of the names because it insta-broke. Combat coming in, Close were able to get control of their base. Combat moving a little bit closer as well, but Close were able to jump into them and get an engage on them before they get to their base. Yeah, the node wall bags are broken as well. You can't open them because you can open them multiple times or something like that. I'll get multiple rewards from them. So, yeah, I would love the color system so I can show you guys, you know, who's who by changing the different colors of the names, but it will not be fixed until probably next week, sadly. But yeah, once that comes in, then you'll be able to see all the different colored names of all the different guilds in Node Wars. I was hoping it would get fixed, but sadly it was broken on first. So Control do have a few 1s and 2s around Closed base. Closed making sure that they get a few taps on their fort right now. Main ball moving back to make sure they clear it up. They do not want anyone close to their base. The enemy guilds will be focusing on burning their buildings down It looks like Close do catch 1s and 2s on their Pegasus. Take them off the Pegasus and annihilate them. Send them back to spawn. Very nice picks there. But they do have to be careful because Control just ran past them into their base on the last engage. So Close need to make sure that they are not balling in the same way and they are a little bit more spread to keep it clean. Let's move a little bit to the north. Let's try and see a little bit of close combat here. Because I think there's going to be a lot of fights on the north side right now. Yeah, looks like Control are taking a fight with Close right now on the east side of their base, sorry, in the mountains. A lot of single targeting people down, making sure that they do get the kills on Control. They don't want Control to come close to their base. They want to keep them far, far away. But looks like some of those Control members did just go straight past alongside a lot of combat players. Looks like combat might have done a Pegasus jump inside their base. Around 10 plus combat players are jumping onto this Hwacha. Because they cannot use cannons or elephant, they need to use manual raw power to burn these structures down. But it looks like it's not even going to take that long with the amount of damage this Hwacha is already taking from the range damage from combat. Combat with several rangers just blasting this Hwacha and it's already down like 20% health. Within a few minutes of the Node Wars starting. Who needs cannons when you have rangers? Very, very nice. Closed are pushing into them, making sure they do try and get them off. They need to keep it as clean as possible. They cannot allow combat and Control just to poke down their building. As soon as they lose a few structures, it will be game over. As you can see, already a few recovs are chipped down on health. Supply depot going down a little bit. Flag factory as well as the extra buildings inside their base. So again, they need to be very careful. They don't want to lose this Hwacha. They want to keep it alive as long as possible. But it looks like 1s and 2s from Control are just jumping in and assassinating people. One after the other. I think it was a hash. But Close main ball on the northeast side of their base right now. With the elephant as well, supporting them in hand. I want to move a little bit closer. Let's move a little bit closer. I don't want to move too far out of the base range. But I also don't want to just teleport into the traps. There we go. Looks like Closed will be pushing up. So they're going to keep pushing Control right now. Looks like they do want to hold the high ground against Control because Control and Combat are both Pegasus jumping east of their base. Yeah, we are seeing Control right now jump on the Pegasus. And it looks like Closed are being forced to disengage because Control are going straight into their base. Never mind, I can't even step away from their base apparently because Closed are going super... Control are going super balls deep. Oh my god, I almost got one. Control are inside the base in a heartbeat. They are not playing around. They are not allowing Closed to have much time on this node right now. As they do jump into the base once again and take down even more health from the structures. People said that Control were very good at taking a base apart within a few minutes. And they are making it, like, very visible right now. Fighting against one of the strongest guilds in the region. It is a 2v1, granted, so they do have the ability to jump in. As it will be 80 people against 40 people. But they're definitely ripping those structures apart. Close need to try to keep Control out of their base, especially with the amount of damage that they're doing to their structures right now. They are on a regroup on the northeast side once again. They're going to try to hold the high ground. They've got the Hwacha support right behind them as well. With the elephant. Imagine how crazy this would be if they were allowed to use cannons and elephant as well, dude. Holy moly. Capt is something else. Capt is certainly something else. So we do have a hero of combat there. DK trying to get a little bit more damage down, but does get taken out. The one-man hero does not work. Close moving back to their base right now because the enemies are moving closer. And they want to respect that Close Control can do a lot of damage to their structures. We are seeing Combat push up right now. Combat trying to push into Close at the moment. Fighting on the northeast side. Big Hwacha shots in the back, but Control are here as well. A few 1s and 2s from Control are moving up. It looks like Closed are being flanked by Control from the side. So it's like Close did push into combat, but Control were ready, waiting for them. And the second they step forward, Control pushed right into the side of them and were able to take out almost all of the Close members in that initial push. Now, Close do have the respawn. They can take advantage of this because they can reinforce much faster than the enemy guilds are. So they're seeing respawns come through right now, but Closed need to get rid of Control from their base ASAP because Control will just keep chopping down their buildings bit by bit on every engage. We're also seeing Combat move up a little bit on the north side as well. Looks like Combat's attention is focused on this Hwacha. I'm seeing all of Combat move up right now because Closed are forced to fight control on the east and south side of their base. So they cannot keep this Hwacha alive for much longer if this continues. But Closed are now choosing to push into Combat. They want to get Combat away. We're seeing a Black Hole used on top, keeping them busy as best as possible. Zerka's bombs used defensively. And it's like Closed are forcing Combat off. As Combat are now choosing to disengage because Closed do have their respawns up. They have more people alive. They're able to defend this Hwacha. But Combat was able to chop down the Hwacha to around 50% life right now. 1 or 2 more pushes, and this Hwacha may just be out of commission. 11 minutes on the clock. Still very nice hold, so it's the 2v1. Very nice hold so far from Closed. They did lose a few more percent health on their structures, a little bit on their fort as well. But still a very solid hold. When you're in a situation where you're 2v1, especially with double the numbers straight up, it's a pretty rough situation. Looks like Closed did just choose to push all the way to the north. So they did move outside of render distance. I'm not quite sure. Maybe they're pushing north into a flag. Trying to get one of their flags down, which would have been placed around now. We're seeing a few in defense right now that will try to defend against the control individuals that will be doing some damage to their structures. So 1s and 2s from Closed are defending right now. We are seeing Zero Chew, Ocho, and Ackland. Making sure they do take care of that. Closed are now moving back to the north of their Hwacha because they are taking a fight with Combat right now. We are seeing Combat jump deep into the back of Closed. They do need to be careful though because this is a 2v1. The last time this happened, Closed got flanked by Control from the east side. Right now, Closed grouping together, making sure they do get the backline protected. Looks like Closed are running quite a lot of range DPS, so they do want to keep that range DPS alive. Mystic Vacuum's being used, but the Sage is saying no thank you. Goodbye. We are nice and balanced, but here comes Control. Again, Control moving around, going for the execute into their base. Looks like Closed are a little bit more prepared this time. They might have scouted them a little bit earlier, as they do have several people inside their base that are holding off Control. Control weren't able to get a full push in their base like they were able to last time, which is very good for Closed right now. There's still several more Control members alive, chipping the structures down bit by bit, but yeah, it definitely looks like Closed were ready for it this time. They learned from their mistake last time, as they didn't commit too much into into Combat. Fucking Control, Combat, and Closed. CCC, dude. But Combat are back again for the little bit of chip damage on the Hwacha, as it is falling down to 40% live. We are seeing Combat come once more. They want this Hwacha down. With this Hwacha down, looks like they can then potentially take the high ground and start throwing some damage down. That's a lot of Control coming in for this Hwacha right now. Closed will have to bring some resources over. We are seeing a few respawns come through for Closed right now. They're also flanking on the east side, but Control still with a large number of forces, around 15 people or so. On the north side, still throwing some damage on this Hwacha. But Closed respawns are coming through. So they will now be able to push into Combat and get Combat off this Hwacha as soon as possible. They want every percent health on this. Very, very nice. Looks like Closed do a full respawn at their base. And move a little bit north to try and take the remnants of Combat out. So how's their base looking right now? A few of those recovs are getting dangerously low, especially when the server tick comes through for the increased respawn timers if they lose their recovs as well. What is this? The AP Shy? Trying to be the hero. We are seeing a Shy. He does get grabbed by Ocho. He gets re-CC'd and gets sent to the afterlife. I'm not too sure about the hero Shy play, but definitely trying something. But Ocho is saying no. Combat pushing on the north side with the assistance of Control. So Combat pushing north and Control pushing more to the east. As Closed did try push into them, but the 2 guilds against 1, you do lose people. It is very, very bad for you because Control are moving into the base instantly. They say that these recovs are low, and they're going to focus fire these recovs down right now, as they do have 1s and 2s all over Closed's base. The structures are getting low, so it looks like Combat's main focus is the Hwacha. With a very big Hwacha shot right there. No follow-up though, sadly. Combat now choosing to disengage as they do see a lot of Closed members respawn. Control's still waiting around, though. They still want to try and get these recovs as low as possible. So it looks like what their strategy is get all the recovs low. And then once, like I said, once the respawn tick goes through, you kill all their recovs in one swoop. And then their timers will go super high instantly, which will enable you to take their entire base in a push. I assume that's what they're trying because not a single recov has been killed yet, I believe. But they're all very, very low to the point of where you can take them out in one swoop. So Closed do want to be mindful about this right now, that if they do lose a push, when these recovs go down, it could be very, very devastating for them. Combat back again for the Hwacha. The Hwacha's on around 10% life. A lot of combat players have turned up right now, though. Closed are trying to get as many away as possible right now, but combat are not disengaging. Big Hwacha shot in the middle of them right now. Do have the elephant support on top as well. Combat holding very strong against Closed, but they will slowly lose this fight right now, especially with the Hwacha support and the elephant support as well. The question is, where is Control? If Control arrive and go for a big push, it looks like those two low recovs were taken out just now by Control's little flank team on the side. Because their main ball did get their structures very low, they do need to place these as soon as possible. We are seeing instant placements right now from the defense team of Closed. Very, very nice. Very good reaction. But they do need to get the other one down as well, as two were taken out. Closed all sticking around the Hwacha because they see that the Hwacha is low. As the enemies are nearing closer right now, we are seeing combat stepping up in full force. Rage leading the way. Good old Cal leading his members into the fight. We are seeing some Sages from Closed jump straight into the backline and absolutely annihilate like the 3 or 4 people around them. Crazy amounts of damage, but this Hwacha is getting increasingly lower as combat are committing their life to it right now. But Closed are holding it tight. They do not want it to die. It's holding on for dear life. We are seeing a few individuals from combat trying to take it out. Is it possible it is taken out? It's like Tagi and Cup were very successful in taking it out there. Very, very nice. The Hwacha is down. The elephant is down as well with all the little chip damage to the side. Now Closed down a defensive structure and a defensive elephant. Control did jump into their base while Closed were fighting combat on the northeast side. And Control did take down those additional recovs. Both recovs low around the flame tower have been taken out. Now there is one recov left. They also were able to get their rebuilds too. So Control definitely don't want any of those respawns, those respawns of Closed to be reduced. Combat now pushing on the north side. They know that Closed are now down recovs. So Combat now can now go for the 1v1 trades because it is not favorable for Closed at all. We are seeing Control again swoop around the southeast side, going inside the base. Very, very, very nice movement from Control right now. Looks like Closed were ready as several Closed members are respawning. But that's a lot of Control members inside your base right now. And the Flame Tower is the next focus. If they do get rid of this Flame Tower, it leaves the east side of Closed base open to poke, engage, disengage. A very, very bad situation right now. Control coming on the north side as well. They do see that the Flame Tower, the Supply Depot, the Recover, the Elephant are all very, very low. The Flame Tower holding on for dear life as well, around 15% life. It is being ripped apart by Control right now as Closed respawn timers will be high. With the last recov holding on. Control now disengaging though, as a lot of Closed will be respawning right now. But Combat are now choosing to, instead of push on the north side, they have chosen to go to the west side. And they're going to throw some damage down on the west side right now. This does mean that there is no escape for them, as Closed are pushing into them. 3 Zerka bombs thrown straight into the backline. As a follow-up from Closed, respawns do just annihilate Combat. Several Combat players just absolutely explode in a pixel of a second, but they did their job. They got their damage on the structures down. They got the last recov down. They gave their life for a good cause. Now Closed without recovs. One low Flame Tower, no Hwacha. With Control nearing... They're moving in right now. Looks like they're going to go for the kills on Closed instead of the base right now, as they are choosing to wrap around all around the west side right now. Very, very, very fast movement. Very explosive movement from Control right now. They do want to kill the closed members because they know that there is no recovs. So their timers will be very high, so they can go for these trades. If they give up their life for several of the closed members, closed will suffer more in a 2v1. The Suck Rangers absolutely blasting from closed right now, though. Taking their target, taking them out one at a time. Closed damage definitely focused on that ranged barrage from Rangers and Archers. But here comes combat on the north side once again. Looks like they're going to choose to push on the north side. We are seeing a push into the base right now. Looks like they see the flame tower is very low, so combat will be choosing to fully commit to his flame tower right now. The flame tower gets nearer and nearer to death. We are seeing a lovely Sork and Dracania able to take down the flame tower. Now Control sees there's no flame tower. They can push in on this base and do a tremendous amount of damage onto the node fort. This is what we're seeing right now. Control are moving in and are just eradicating this node fort. Holy moly, it's going down several percent at once. Holy. Closed do have some more respawns coming through right now, but there is still a lot of Control inside the base. We haven't seen like an SOB used right now, unless it was actually the buff that was used. I haven't seen an SOB res used right now. But closed base is nearing 50%. We are 21 minutes into the node war. No cannons, no elephants allowed for the two-man side. But looks like it wasn't really needed with the amount of raw damage that you can do to structures with just sheer numbers on the cap. More and more closed are respawn. It's like when they respawn, they're moving to the west side so they can get that little assistance from the flame tower. The knockback always helps. But combat are now pushing in onto the flame tower on the west side. Control on the east side. As the fort has fallen below 50% health right now. Looks like combat are choosing to go for the flame tower. The gate falls with just a chip damage on the side. Looks like combat are both cleaving the flame tower and the node fort. I feel like at this point you could just go for the node fort and take them out. I feel like the flame tower is going to die after the after the node fort. Big respawn from close right now. Very, very, very big respawn. They're choosing to push into combat to get combat away. Combat forced to instantly disengage. Ones and twos from closed, maybe committing a little too deep right now, as there is 4 or 5 of them. They do have to be careful that the majority of closed are not around because they have to stay in their base because Control are coming. Control on the east side right now. Very nice shy CCs there. They were able to get a lot of CCs onto Control's main ball. But Control do not care. Their main forces see a target and they are moving in for the kill. As both guilds are now moving onto the fort. Fort below 25% health right now. Both Combat and Control blasting this fort. There aren't many Control members alive as a lot of them are disengaging. So it looks like Combat will be the ones that are fully commit right now. It's like they may stay. Flame Tower skill used. Trying to get as many as possible. Big respawns coming through from Closed. It looks like Closed might be able to hold this though. With Control disengaging. The fort is still staying around. Looks like Control are on the way back as they realize the fort has not been taken out. And Closed fall down 23 minutes into the node war by Yuffie of Control. GG's, well played. Nice hold, Closed. It was a very rough fight. But very, very nice. Well played to all the guilds involved. And now it should be a 1v1. It should be Control versus Combat now. But well played to close. You guys did as good as you can in this kind of situation. A 2v1 is already difficult, especially on capped. But was still a solid hold. Now I don't know where these two guilds are. So we'll have to go take a look. Is it 30 minutes after the node war starts it shows you? Because we only have 1 hour node wars now, not 2 hour, right? Let's see. Oh, you DM me? Oh, perfect, thank you. It's gonna be up here then, right? Yeah. So this is Control. So now they're able to use their... So now they'll be able to use their elephant and their cannons, because I assume the cannons and elephants aren't out of the Diplo right now. So we are seeing Control here. And combat should be more to the east. But very nice movement for both guilds. Control with their very explosive movement. They wrapped around all the way around Closed's base in like a pixel of a second. They knew exactly what their target was. They saw it. They went for it. Very, very smooth gameplay. Now we'll wait for the few minutes that they usually give each other. Oh, it looks like we're going to be starting already. Never mind. Looks like they only need like a minute or so. Let's try and not teleport onto the traps and embarrass myself. Okay, Combat and Control going for a fight. Very nice engage from Combat. Looks like they're able to push deep into Control. Both guilds do have the Elephant support in their main ball, but the Hwacha from Control will be shooting into Combat. But it's like Combat did win this engage just now, as there is a lot of Combat members alive. So 1s and 2s of Control in the back of Combat. But with the Elephant support there as well, looks like they'll be able to hold strong. Looks like Control are now pushing in with a few of their remnants. But again, if they push in only a few at a time, well, looks like they did just separate and just push in all over. There is already a flag placed down here from Combat. Looks like Combat did place a flag instantly, but Control are ready for this as they are pushing onto the flag. The flag already being taken down to 50% nearly within a few seconds of being blasted. Very, very squishy structures, especially with the focus that Control is showing right now. 1s and 2s from Combat are respawning at the flag. Looks like guilds are so close that both guilds are being shot by Hwachas. Control's flag is taken down by Control right now, as they do hold the ground, and they're going to choose to push into Combat. Hwacha shots coming through from Combat's base right now. Can they hold the push from Control? They do have the Elephant running through all of the backline of Combat right now. Elephant is taken down. I believe that was Combat's Elephant that was taken down right now. As we are seeing Combat again, they are closer to their base, so they can get respawns through, so they can reinforce each other much quicker than Combat Control can reinforce right now. And it does look like Control are losing quite a few people. They may be forced to disengage here. We're gonna move a little bit closer. I have to make sure the left and right of my vision is the base. Yeah, it looks like Combat did win that fight because they do get the reinforcements. Are able to regroup, and their regroup are moving forward now. They're going to have a nice little regroup, and they're going to choose to push in, moving down into Control. I need to find a position that's going to be really nice to spectate from permanently. Okay, let's see. Surely we can find a nice position to spectate, right? Looks like Combat did choose to push into Control. Control awaiting their engage, as they are holding a defensive approach right now. A lot of CCs do come through on Control, from Control there onto Combat. Able to get some 1s and 2 picks. But Combat returned the favor as well, taking the lives of Control members straight after they lost theirs. A very skirmishy kind of fight going on right now between the guilds. It looks like Combat may be forced to disengage soon as more and more Control are turning up. It's a shame we can't dye the colors of the guild names yet, dude. Once PA fixed it, it'll be so much better for visual clarity. Right now, I have to mentally count how many members there are. Looks like Control did just push into the back of Combat right now. So as Combat did push in, Control annihilated the backline of Combat, which took a lot of their DPS players away, which allowed Control to push forward. Very, very, very bad situation to be right now if you are Combat on that backline, because Control see their target and they are focus firing down the ranged DPS. Control moving up into Combat's base right now. So Combat do get the respawns. They can respawn, use their iframe protection. They did get nerfed a little while ago, but it's still a very strong tool to use, especially on capped. And you can push and jump into the enemies, which we are seeing right now from Combat. Hwacha support right in the back line of Control right there. Very, very nice. But it does look like a lot of those Control members, Combat players are falling at the hands of Control. Seems like Control are playing much, much tighter, but the big respawn from Combat does come through. Control had to respect this. Combat going for the quick movement across the fields right now, as they do want to pick off the 1s and 2s Control members that do get caught. So we are seeing Control greed a little bit there, and they do get instantly punished for it. Combat now with a full regroup, as they will be moving forward together. Let's move a little bit closer so we can see how the fight's going. Looks like Combat and Control are once again fighting in the same area as before. They just have to be careful. Control are focusing down Combat's backline, which is exactly what we're seeing right now. We are seeing Control push the backline and then moving forward to pincer Combat's frontline afterwards. So I believe quite a few Combat players did get killed there. Now we'll be seeing Control start to move up to Combat's base. Yeah, here we go. Looks like they did win that engage as Control move closer and closer to Combat's base now. As they're going to go for a regroup. But respawns from Combat are here. And are ready to play. As they do get the respawns through, and they're going to fight Control once again. Big Zerker Stomps used in the backline. That range DPS coming in. Both sides having quite a few range DPS. Massive Hwacha shot. That was huge. It CC'd around 6-7 Control members right in the heart. Did get a beautiful support from the Hwacha though. Is it enough for Control to lose this fight? Can Combat take advantage of this? It's like Combat are forced to move back a little bit so they can get a few of the respawns together. Another big Hwacha shot CC's 5 Control players. Doesn't equate to anything, but does save one of those Combat players from dying. Control are going to respect the respawns right now, as they do want to get a full group together, so they will be moving back to their base. So Combat needs to be careful right now, though, because Control will be in full force. It looks like the respawns from Combat are coming in as well. As Combat will be moving forward, and we're going to see a clash right now in the middle between Control and Combat. Very explosive engage from both guilds right now. So Zerker Stomps from either side into the backline. Very nice Witch engage, Witch CC there. Looks like Combat did get the initial engage on them, but it looks like Control do not die. It looks like they are taking the win right now, as a lot of those Combat players were just not able to kill Control. Could be down to Control's unified supports. Throwing out the heals, keeping each other alive, helping each other out. Or it could just be Combat not having as much damage as Control right now. But Combat do lose that fight. This gives Control the ability to step forward into their base. It's 33 minutes on the clock. And it looks like Control, we're going to be playing very aggressive right now, as a flag does get placed right outside of Combat's base. They're going to use this to reinforce much, much faster now, as well as use it as a regroup point. Combat will now have to group together and go for a push onto this flag. The Hwacha is already down several % health. If this Hwacha dies, the recovs are also very low as well already. And it looks like Combat Control are ready once again for another engage. As Control do push onto the Hwacha, they do get big pre-engages there from 2 Mystics, as well as the Corsair support, enabling Control to get a nice engage into a group of people. But Combat do have their Elephant and the Hwacha shooting right into the heart of Control. Combat holding very strong right now. But they do need to get these 1s and 2s that are just jumping into their backline all the time, over and over and over. The Sorks from Control and the Strikers from Control being a menace for Combat right now. And again, because this flag is alive, Control can respawn here and just regroup over and over and over. Combat will have to fully commit to burn this flag down. Exactly what Control did to Combat at the start of their 1v1. Are they able to get the chance to do that, though? Because Control are already grouped. They are grouped and ready to fight once more. 35 minutes on the clock right now. Combat do see now that they want this flag down as they are choosing to push in. Big push in on Combat right now, but Control do disengage. Looks like they might be baiting Combat onto the flag to go for a potential re-engage onto it. Yeah, we are now seeing Control re-engage onto their flag from all directions. Looks like they scattered and then chose to use their flag as a little bit of a bait. The flag does lose around 15% life, though. A few members from Combat are trying to poke it down a little bit more. A few more, like, percent taken off the fort. Sorry, off the flag. But looks like Combat did get taken out because they weren't able to take the flag in one push, unfortunately. Now they have the elephant there to support them as well. We are seeing Joyful Joker throwing out that caution, trying to get some more percent damage down onto the flag. Does need to be careful because the Elephant Stomp will CC. Can he be the hero? Can he take down the flag? It's causing a lot of problems right now for this elephant. He is chipping down this flag. The Kashin Nightmare doing a tremendous amount of damage on Capped. And he is just iframe around, mitigating a lot of that damage right now. And mitigating a lot of the CCs. He's still staying on this flag. Can he be the hero that Combat needs to get this flag down? As Combat are now pushing on top because a few Control players were not able to take care of the Sorceress. Big push from Combat right now. The flag is already down to 50% health with the damage from the Kashin Nightmare. Did chip it low, who had shot on top as well. Combat now does have the ability to take out this flag. There's a lot of Combat around. It looks like Control will not be able to defend this flag. But Combat have to commit to this. They do want to get this flag down. They do not want Control to keep it alive. The elephant from Control does go down with a chip AoE damage. And the flag follows afterwards. The flag is now down as well. Very, very good for Combat. Very nice flag taking. Control no longer having a flag to be offensive. Combat did their job, and now they're going to use this time to disengage and to try to get a regroup. A few ones and twos are greeting from Control right now. They may get punished for this. Big Hwacha shot, but the rest of them are just iframing out and disengaging. Very, very strong tool, but Control are being aggressive now. They don't want to wait around much longer. 37 minutes on the clock, and they are moving up. Let's move a little bit closer because I don't really see the damage that they've done to the base of Combat right now. But Combat has lost a few recovs and quite a lot of damage to their structures. As we can see, looks like Control are just full focusing the buildings. So Control did move around to the north and east side. And because the timers are going up and up and up right now, Control are just jumping into the base and burning those recovs down. There is 2 recovs alive in Control's base right now. The recov is around 5% health. And the other one around 20 to 30% life. Unfortunately, one of the flame towers... The flame tower is not enhanced, right? No, it's just basic flame tower. So, 2 recovs left for Combat. Combat being cannoned over and over right now, so both flame towers were taken down, so they were able to get a rebuild up, but that rebuild will not last much longer with the amount of cannon pressure on the flame tower. Here comes Control on the Hwacha right now. Big push from Control into Combat. Combat does have this problem of high respawns now, with a lot of their recovs down. This is very, very dangerous for them. One big push from Control could mean the end of Combat. Hwacha is getting close to 50% health. Cannon still being shot onto that flame tower. The flame tower losing like 10% plus life per cannon shot. Very, very devastating. Combat do try and get a few recov placements. All they need to do is just try to place the recov to assist with those respawn timers. Even if they don't get the rebuild up, it still will help, especially if they are losing members. Cannon Observatory is very, very low. Does fall down with the chip damage. The extra recov falls as well. Last recov alive on a very slither of health. Cannon shot will take the flame tower out on the north side. Combat's base is falling apart second by second. Once those recovs are down, your respawn timers will go up. The enemy can push in and out as much as they want, especially with permanent cannon pressure on your base. Last recov center alive for Combat. Looks like Combat defense team will play some recovs, which is very, very good for them. Now Combat needs to use this opportunity to push out, which is exactly what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to keep Control away, but Control placed another flag. This flag was pushed by Combat to around 50% life, but it looks like they will not have the manpower to kill it. This allows Control to keep up the pressure on Combat's base. And that's what we're seeing right now. We are seeing Control move forward around the north side of their base. They realize that the recovs are trying to be rebuilt right now, but we are seeing Mir Push in. Just take out 2 of those Rikas, the assistance of Knight and Tilty. Very, very, very good job right there from the Gauntlets of Control. Do deny all of those rebuilds and takes out the last Recov. Now Combat, 20 minutes away. Can they hold on 20 minutes or will Control take their base out? Control again pushing onto their big Hwacha. Falling to around 30% life right now. Big respawn from Combat though. They're going to use this opportunity to try to push Control out. They do need to get this flag. They need to try to get it as best as possible at Control and not letting them take the flag, as Control are going to move forward more into their base. They know they have the advantage of spawn timers. They can go for the 1v1 trades, and they will take advantage from this because Combat cannot respawn in time with no Recovs alive. A very, very tough situation to be Combat right now with 19 minutes left to go. Combat now choosing to push and go for the kill, so they're no longer going for the Hwacha. They know that no recovs means that your timers are screwed. So Combat choosing to kill the members of Combat first. So this gives them more time inside the base, and that's exactly what's happening. Combat members are falling, being 3v1, 4v1'd, taken out one at a time. We are seeing some more Combat members arrive in their base, though. And they're assisting the ones that are still alive. So Combat holding very strong right now. Templars, Combat Bailers still alive and kicking. Looks like Control switch their attention across to the Hwacha, as they are burning it down right now as it is falling down to 15% life. A lot of damage coming through from Control right now onto this Hwacha. Combat might not be able to keep this alive. 1s and 2s are jumping in. Thick Raven trying to keep them alive as best as possible. It looks like it is being taken down. 1% left, and down it falls. No Hwacha for Combat anymore. Supply depot on a sliver of life as well. Looks like Combat do have a few respawns. A few of those respawns do force Control to disengage. And again, the flag is around 40-odd% life. It needs to die. But they do not have the manpower free to push out and push into the flag. Cannons on them permanently denying any flame tower rebuilds inside their base. Control not choosing to go for the base, instead choosing to go for the kills once again, because they know they will have more time on the main structure if they do get those kills, and that's exactly what's happening right now. They're switching their attention to the fort. Control choosing to push in right now. 1s and 2s respawns from Combat are coming through, but their iframe protection will end soon. Oh, we are seeing a large amount of Combat players respawn right now, though. Control might have to respect this and be forced to disengage. They are holding strong. Again, Combat's Node 4 is chipping down. But Control see that there aren't many of them alive. Their iframe protection has gone, so Control can now go in and do even more damage to the Node fort. Percent by percent, this fort is falling down. It's getting close to that 50% health right now. Control see the opportunity, and they're now throwing a tremendous amount of damage into the fort as this fort is burning. Combat might be able to get 1 or 2 more respawns through, but Control do not want to allow it to happen, as they are now pushing their entire main ball into the base. Base is down to close to 30% health. Big respawns coming through from Combat, though. Control will have to respect this. This is a big Combat respawn. Now the question is, will they use this respawn to push for the flag? Looks like some of them are going to choose to push for the flag straight away, using the iframe protection to try to get this flag down. We are seeing commitment from Combat. They need to commit fully if they want this down. Looks like that is the option that they've chosen, but there is a lot of their members that are just not pushing. We are seeing a lot of Combat players in the backline taking those 2v1s, trying to defend their fort, but I think the call might have been to go for the flag. But I don't think they saw full commitment from all of Combat there, which is resulting in Control able to take them apart bit by bit, because there's some on the front, in the middle, and on the back. Down goes Control's flag, but it's still a few percent health. Tagi desperately trying to finish it off right now. Trying to be the hero Dracani with LP on the side. And with Avanti, they are able to take out Control's flag, alleviating a little bit of pressure. But this is not enough because Control are all over their base. Unfortunately, there aren't many Combat players around as the fort is falling to 10% life. And falling even quicker to 5%. I think this may be the end of Combat, as Control are fully committing. Big respawns from Combat do come through, though. But I think Control will just fully commit to this fort right now. We are seeing it 3% health on the fort, around 2% health, 1%. And Combat is taken out of the node wall. Control do win the 1v1 45 minutes into the node wall. GG's in chat. Very, very well played.